Mayor, we continue our conversation. My grandma from Dance, South Carolina. I know you're a native South Carolinian. And
Yeah.
the old timers used to say, cheaters never win. And we were raised on the lessons of Abraham Lincoln never told a lie. George Washington chopped down the cherry tree, told his dad about it. The current administration, is he trying to cheat to win?
Well, it certainly has the appearance of it, and it certainly. I don't think that the president speaks consistently with truth. His story changes. Just look at this COVID, this pandemic, and what he said about it. It was first like, well, I controlled it. You know, it just came from China. At the same time, Europe was sending people on flights home, but yet he says they shut it down. He said it was time to open up. And when we opened up, we've seen clusters and growth of this virus. So it's very difficult to say those words and have people believe them when obviously right in front of your face, you can see people lining up in food lines, lines to get tested. Our hospitals are full and people are dying. People are dying.
When DC was called the killing fields, we were looking 400 plus homicides per year. And I was actually standing outside a hospital filming one night, and a car speeds up, drops somebody off, and he had been shot. One of the things that I discovered during my years of being on the streets was it wasn't the fact that people were killing each other, it was that inner cities were being flooded with guns. And mayors at that time were saying, if I can just get the suburbs from selling guns so easily, and if I can just get the NRA to cooperate, maybe we could stem this violence. Does Charlotte have a violent population problem, as people in the Republican Party seem to indicate, or does it have a gun problem, or does it have both?
Well, I think that the gun problem is very real. And in this case, it's not really the selling, it's the people in suburbia that buy a gun, leave it in their car, leave the car unlocked in the driveway, and make it just an easy proposition to get a gun. But I also say that this is about having a culture of violence. It's almost all of these things in our country that relate to, you've done me wrong, and I've got to be primarily a man to show you that you can't do me wrong. And when a 14-year-old and a 17-year-old are in a gun battle, they have not had the kind of guidance that we talked about previously, where you're taught that there are ways to do things differently. So we've been working really hard on de-escalation and violence interruption. We've got two programs that we're starting. One, we're asking our neighbors to create advisory councils where we will actually give them the authority and the power and the resources to start talking about de-escalation of incidents. There's always someone in the neighborhood that knows what's going on. And if that person will help us by being a part of the fixing of it, then we can do better. The other program that we're doing is that when people are shot and they're, as you said, dropped off at the hospital door and the doctor stitched them up, they go out, but what's the first thing? Retaliation. So we're asking for counselors to come in to the hospital before they leave and give them alternative methods than besides the fact that you have to go back to the neighborhood and fight back. Maybe you need to go to another neighborhood. Maybe you need to enroll in a school or a training program. Maybe you just need to be around a different group of people. So those two things, between the idea that we can interrupt violence before it happens, that we teach people how to de-escalate, and we care for people that shouldn't be retaliating, perhaps we can make a difference. We're going to try it. That's what the data says. We've done a lot of work around this. Conflict resolution seems to be the answer. It's not going to fix it immediately, but if we can focus and resource it, we can make I think, a difference.
Mayor Vi Lyles from North Carolina, Charlotte. I will point out that your barbecue I don't like as well as I do Kansas City, but that is
That's okay. I'm going to have to send you a pint.
You got it. Be safe, my friend.